If you're a woman in your 40s or 50s, gaining weight around the middle, struggling to sleep at night, waking up wired and not able to go back to sleep, not feeling like yourself, you are not alone. The same thing happened to me in perimenopause when my blood sugar was elevated and I was diagnosed with insulin resistance. In this video, I'm going to show you the 10 lessons I learned that nobody was telling me about and what I did to get my body to heal. So if you're interested, keep watching. My number one lesson was my cortisol. I thought that blood sugar was all about food. I never thought about stress. Stress causing high blood sugar, how does that work? What happens is when your stress is high, you're in fight or flight, your body releases cortisol from the liver because it's trying to balance your blood sugar. And even if you haven't eaten, your blood sugar will go up. This is something nobody tells you about. My wake-up call came when I decided to go see a functional practitioner, and she tested my cortisol levels and they were off the charts. They were way off and out of balance. And that's when it dawned on me that my stress was causing, or was one of the root causes for my elevated blood sugar. This was not taught to me when I went to dietetic school. So there you have it. Nobody's going to tell you about this. You need to find out for yourself, and you really need to be conscientious about the labs and functional labs and things that you can do. So in this video, I'm going to go through all of them so that you can be aware and start asking good questions. Lesson number 2, blood sugar can wreck your sleep. How does that work? What happens is when you have a meal that is high in carbs, a lot of sugar, wine, dessert before you go to bed, your blood sugar is high when you go to bed. That makes you sleepy. You go to bed and then you wake up at 2 or 3 in the morning. That was happening to me. I could not get full rest because I would wake up in the middle of the night. And again, the cortisol wakes you up and starts producing sugar so that you can go back to sleep because your blood sugar was too low. And once I started balancing what I ate at night, everything changed for me. But we need to be aware of that. We need to understand exactly how these things work. And in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what I did. Lesson number 3 has to do with breakfast. You can't skip breakfast, especially if your cortisol is high. I used to just run out of the house and eat breakfast whenever, catch whatever I could, whenever I felt hungry. But that does not work if your cortisol is high. Cortisol makes you anxious. And if you don't eat breakfast, it's even worse because those survival hormones continue to go up and your body continues to release sugar from the liver, and that combined with the cortisol makes you anxious and you start craving food. So very, very important, eat breakfast every day within an hour of waking up, especially if your cortisol is high. Lesson number 4 was skip all of the snacking. I used to eat 4 to 6 meals a day, thinking that the more I ate, the more frequently I ate, the more my blood sugar was going to calm down. But it actually had the opposite effect. The more I ate, the worse my blood sugar was because it kept my insulin high. My insulin was so high that I could not calm that insulin secretion. So that made me more insulin resistant. So the key is to actually have 3 meals a day with plenty of protein and healthy fats and fiber so that you can slow down the release of sugar from the food. That's the main idea, rather than eating small meals all day long or every couple of hours. I was eating granolas and smoothies and things with lots of sugar in them, and that was making things worse. So now I eat 3 meals a day and I make sure that I have plenty of protein in them. So this takes me to lesson number 5. I was not eating enough protein. So how much is enough protein? About 20 to 30 grams per meal. It depends on your size, but 20 grams of protein would be a couple of eggs and maybe 1 cup of Greek yogurt with some fruit and nuts. That's going to give you plenty of protein to start your day, and it will make a huge difference in how you feel, because when you have enough protein and healthy fats, that slows down the release of sugar, and you're going to feel more calm, more focused, and that brain fog is going to go away. The fatigue will go away as well as the cravings, and you will find that you don't need any snacks. Lesson number 6, Perimenopause changes everything about blood sugar. So the fluctuations in estrogen and progesterone, and the fact that everything is all over the place changes the way that you react to insulin sensitivity. Your insulin sensitivity takes a crash, and you are going to be spiking blood sugar and dropping blood sugar unless you get a whole protein, fiber, fat combo that I was talking about, as well as your stress levels. So in perimenopause, your hormone fluctuation are going to affect your blood sugar, and your blood sugar is going to affect your hormone fluctuations. They're all hormones and they all work in concert. Nobody had told me that. Lesson number 7, healthy packaged foods were ruining my blood sugar. I used to buy gluten-free crackers, granolas, healthy shakes, what I thought were healthy but full of sugar. Anytime that I put something in my purse to prevent my low blood sugar crashes, I actually made it worse because I was eating just a bunch of sugar and I was not reading labels. I just assumed that because it said healthy or gluten-free or high fiber, that it was good. But then I started looking at cereals and granolas and noticing that the grams of sugar were like 36, or the carbs were just really high. Cereals and crackers and gluten-free items were just really sky high with carbs. And I noticed that the protein was really low and there was no fiber in them. So just because something is gluten-free or organic, or it says natural, it doesn't mean that it's not going to wreck your blood sugar. And that is so important because blood sugar is at the root of everything. Once you balance your blood sugar, everything starts calming down. You'll see. Lesson number 8. Movement is a non-negotiable. I used to think that exercise only mattered if you could do intense exercise, go to the gym, and really work out really hard. And then I found out that walking after meals does wonders for your blood sugar. And strength training is the best thing you can do as you age, because as we age, we start losing muscle mass. When we lose muscle mass, we lose bone, and everything becomes a problem. So we need to make sure that we're doing resistance training, lifting weights, and moving our body. That is a non-negotiable. Moving is going to keep you alive and is going to give you the quality of life that you want. Just know that that is one of the most important things you can do. Lesson number 9, grounding outside and going outside first thing in the morning to see the sunrise made a huge difference in my life. It reset my cortisol in my nervous system to a degree that is just making everything work better. And what happens is we have these cells in our eyes that take on the morning light, and that morning light does a reset in our biological clock, in our rhythms, and throughout our whole body, whether it's our thymus gland, our colon, our liver, our lungs, everything gets affected by light, and that light does wonders for healing in our body. Give it a try. Go outside at 6:30 in the morning or when the sun is coming up. It's been shown scientifically that the red light and the blue light in the morning, when the sun is just coming above the horizon, is the best light for you. And just 10 minutes on a bright sunny day will do wonders. If the sky is overcast, then stay out 20 minutes. Take your shoes off, feel the ground beneath your feet, and try to stay out there as long as you can, because this is life-giving. It is going to make a huge difference not only in your sleep and your blood sugar, but also your nervous system. So give it a try. I know that you will not regret it. You need a practitioner who looks at the whole picture. That's lesson number 10. My labs were fine. My doctor said everything was fine. I was just getting old. But it wasn't until I found a functional practitioner who looked at my labs from the functional lens that we found out that cortisol and blood sugar were driving all of my symptoms. Once we figured that out, I started putting all of these practices into place, and things started changing for me gradually. But in the end, I ended up balancing my hormones, my sleep, my weight, my cravings, my blood sugar. Everything just started working. And I want that for you. If you feel lost, don't wait. Work with somebody who listens. If you need guidance, I'd love to help. Just let me know. I will put my information in the description. So if you're dealing with weight gain, poor sleep, cravings, anxiety, Remember, everything is connected: cortisol, blood sugar, hormones, and there's a path forward. Let me know in the comments which lesson hit home for you. And if you want support, join my free Facebook group, Glucose Matters, or reach out for one-on-one guidance. I'm here to help. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and remember to subscribe and tap on the bell so that you can get notified when I release a new video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.